Hello friends, myself Professor Khemchand Surana. In last session, we have started the antifungal drugs. In that, we have seen initially the fungal infections, then classification of antifungal agents. We have seen different kinds of classification of antifungal agents, then site of action of some antifungal drugs and mechanism of action of some antifungal drugs we have seen. Further, we have started with the details of antifungal antibiotics. In that, we have seen the first and Pauline antibiotics, that is what amphotericin B. We have seen their mode of action, antifungal spectrum and adverse effect. Now in today's session we'll discuss the further Pauline antibiotics. So in that, the first Pauline antibiotic we have seen, that is what amphotericin B in last session. Now today we'll see about the griseofulvin, which is what second Pauline antibiotics as an antifungal antibiotic. So the griseofulvin, the brand name is fulvicin is there. So you can see there is what quite a simple structure of griseofulvin given over here. Just draw this structure and need to practice. So it is what one of the early antibiotic which is obtained from the Penicillium griseofulvum. So this antibiotic basically obtained from the Penicillium griseofulvum. So they showing the fungistatic action, systematic drug for the superficial fungal infection. So they were showing the fungistatic action and as a systematic drug for the superficial fungal infections. It is also active against the most of the dermatophytes. So this drug is what active against the dermatophytes. So dermatophytes concentrate its actively, hence they were shows their selective toxicity. So it is what useful in case of dermatophytes. And also whatever the resistance, the loss of concentrating ability. So once these species were showing the resistance toward this griseofulvin, there is what whatever the ability of showing antifungal activity they were losing upon it concentrating. So this is what about the griseofulvin. So mode of action of griseofulvin is that, so it is only a fungistatic drug. So it is only showing what fungistatic action only, and it causes a number of significant drug interaction. So number of significant drug interaction they were shows. So how it will act this griseofulvin? So griseofulvin accumulates in newly synthesized keratin containing tissues, and where it causes disruption of mitotic spindle and inhibition of fungal mitosis. What will happen basically, these griseofulvin were accumulate into the newly synthesized keratin containing tissues, okay, in case of fungus, and whatever the mitosis and mitotic spindle were occurring for growing of new fungal cells, so these can be disrupted by these griseofulvin. You can see into the spectral diagram. So mitosis means what basically? So multiplication of the fungal cell or the multiplication of the particular cell from one cell to the number of cells has been synthesized, you can see. So where these griseofulvin were inhibit this mitotic procedure, they were causes the disruption of these mitotic spindle and inhibition of fungal mitosis. So this is what the mode of action of griseofulvin. So adverse effect of griseofulvin is headache is most common basically. So then GIT disturbances were there, CNS toxicity, then confusion, fatigue, vertigo. So these are what about CNS. Then peripheral neuritis, then rashes, photoallergy, then transient leukopenia, albuminuria. So these are what the different adverse effect of griseofulvin. So now further the third Pauline antibiotic which is act as antifungal antibiotic, nystatin is there. So nystatin, the basic structure of amphotericin B and nystatin is quite similar, but only the orientation of these amino sugar part is differ in case of amphotericin B and nystatin. So only that is what difference in case of these both antibiotics. So again need to draw the structure and practice it. So nystatin is basically obtained from the Streptomyces norsci, Then it is what similar to AMB. AMB means amphotericin B. In fungal properties, they are high systemic toxicity, so use locally only. So they are having a systemic toxicity, so that's why they are used local only. So poorly absorbed from the mucous membrane, in mucous membrane poorly absorbed, then available as a ointment, cream, powder and into the tablet form. So these different preparations are available. So how it has been used is basically, so the 5 lakh unit in intestinal moniliasis in TDS thrice a day. So this is what the dose. Then 1 lakh unit in vaginitis, and prevention of oral candidiasis can be also used in oral, cutaneous as well as conjunctival candidiasis. So this is what the different uses of this nystatin. The basic adverse event of this nystatin is they shows the GIT disturbances with oral tablets. So in case of oral formulation, they shows the GIT disturbances. So this is what about nystatin. Then hamycin and natamycin, these two more drugs. So hamycin is basic obtained from Streptomyces pimprina, which is what Hindustan Antibiotics Pimpri, more water soluble and fraction absorbed orally but unreliable in systemic infections. So topical use in the thrush, cutaneous candidiasis, trichomonas, monilial vaginitis and otomycosis by the aspergillus. So these are what the basic uses of this hamycin. Then further the natamycin, again which is similar to the nystatin, which is broad spectrum antibiotic and used topically in 1% and 3% ointment. Fusarium solani, Fusarium solani keratitis, then trichomonas and monial vaginitis. So where these natamycin has been utilized. So these 5 antibiotics has been shows their antifungal activities. So now further we'll discuss the second major class of these antifungal agent is what azoles, and which is important as per your examination. So these azoles basically are effective against most of fungi that causes superficial infection of the skin and mucous membrane. So fungi basically useful against the most of fungi and useful in case of the superficial infection as well as mucus infection. So dermatophytes such as Trichophyton, Epidermatophyton and yeast such as Candida albicans. So whatever these species, these azoles were active. So again these azoles were further categorized into 2 major categories, that is what imidazole derivative and triazole derivative. So imidazole derivatives example ketoconazole, cotrimazole, oxyconazole and miconazole. And second category, that is what triazoles examples fluconazole, itraconazole, oriconazole. So these are what the examples. So now initially we will see the imidazole derivatives. So basic structure is given over here. Imidazole ring is there, then X and AR substitution is basically there, and 1,3-dichlorophenyl ring is there. So this is what the basic structure. So again the first drug, that is what miconazole. So miconazole having a at the X there is what oxygen, also in econazole there is what oxygen, and in case of miconazole there is what 1,3-dichlorophenyl ring and chlorobenzene ring is substituted in case of econazole. Then sulconazole only sulfur is there X at the X, and similarly the chlorobenzene is there. Then fenticonazole oxygen and diphenyl sulfide is there. Then isoconazole oxygen and 2,5-dichloropenzene is there. Then cертconazole oxygen and chlorobenzthiophene, and in case of tioconazole chlorothiophene. So these are what the substitution of different imidazole derivatives with their name. So miconazole, econazole, sulconazole, fenticonazole, isoconazole, cертconazole and tioconazole. These are what different imidazole derivatives. So rather than these, again different other structures of these imidazoles given over here. In that the cotrimazole is important. So again X and Y substitution is given over here. So imidazole ring you can see in case of cotrimazole first drug, then flutrimazole. In case of clotrimazole, X is equal to H and Y is equal to chlorine is there, and in case of flutriconazole, X and Y is the fluorine. Then chronocronazole and neticonazole, you can see the structure. In case of chronocronazole, R1 is equal to hydrogen and R2 is equal to chlorobenzene, and in case of neticonazole there is what SCH3 at R1, and at R2 there is what C4 H9 in linear chain. Then butconazole you can see there is what at X there is only whatever the sulfur and chloro benzene ring is substituted. Then oxyconazole structure is given, lanoconazole, omoconazole, ketoconazole and chlormidazole. So these all are what imidazole antifungal agents. Just draw all the structure and practice them. So now the second category from these azoles is triazoles, triazole antifungal agents. In that example, fluconazole and fosfluconazole. You can see the first structure there is what OR, R substitution is there. So in case of fluconazole, R is equal to H, means OH will be there. Triazole, you can see the triazole ring 1, 3 and 4. At 1, 3, 4 nitrogen is there. So this is what about the fluconazole. Then fosfluconazole, instead of hydrogen there is what phosphorus group. Then oriconazole you can see structure. Then itraconazole, quite big structure. Then turconazole and fusconazole. These are all what the triazole derivatives. Just draw the all structures and practice them. Further we will see the metabolism of these whatever imidazole derivatives. So here the metabolism of ketoconazole is given. So initially what will happen, so hydroxylation of ketoconazole will be there. You can see the pathway of these metabolism of ketoconazole. So this ketoconazole involving hydrolysis of the N-acetyl by acetylase. Further the oxidation reaction can be catalyzed by CYP3A4 and flavin link mix function oxidase. All metabolites are inactive. Whatever the all metabolites were formed, they were inactive. So initially you can see the ketoconazole. So at this imidazole ring there is what OH, you can see the red color OH showing over here. So hydroxylation over there. Then by disacetylase, whatever the acetyl group will be there, N-acetyl group on this piperazine ring, in case of ketoconazole that will be removed. You can see the single red color NH has been shown, means disacetylase will shows the removal of acetyl group. So further oxidation will occur on this piperazine and ketonic part will shown on this piperazine ring. Further this piperazine ring will break, you can see the open chain structure. Further removal of NH2, then only NH2 has been shown, and there is what aldehyde forming from amide. So these are all the metabolites of ketoconazole, and all metabolites are inactive. So this is what metabolism of ketoconazole. Further the major metabolic products resulting from the CYP50 metabolism of oriconazole. So again here metabolism of oriconazole given. So what will happen, it leads to the hydroxylation and oxidation. So further this hydroxylated product will leads to glucuronide acid conjugation. So different percentage of these metabolites were formed. So 12% hydroxylated metabolite has been shown. Further it will leads to the whatever O glucuronide conjugation, and further 9% metabolite, you can see 16% O glucuronide metabolite. Initially the oxidation will occur, further oxidated product will leads to the O glucuronide conjugation at CH2, you can see 6% metabolite. So this is what the metabolism of oriconazole. Further the mechanism of action of these azoles, as already we have discussed, whatever the ergosterol synthesis pathway is there in case of these fungal cells. So this pathway has been disrupted by these azoles. So azoles are predominantly fungistatic and they inhibit C14 alpha demethylase, which is what, cytochrome P440 enzyme. So these azoles pair shows their fungistatic action and they will inhibit the C14 alpha demethylase activity. C14 alpha demethylase activity. This is what, cytochrome P440 enzyme, which is required for what, synthesis of ergosterol from the laноsterol. So blocking the demethylation of lanosterol to the ergosterol, which is what, principal sterol of the fungal membrane. This inhibition disrupts membrane structure and function, thereby inhibit the fungal cell growth. So once this conversion of laноsterol to ergosterol by the cytochrome P440 enzyme, which is what, C14 alpha methylase, will block, they will block the fungal cell growth. So note that in addition to blocking fungal ergosterol synthesis, the drug also inhibit human gonadal and adrenal steroid synthesis. So these drugs will also inhibit the gonadal as well as adrenal steroid synthesis, leading to decrease in testosterone and cortisol production. So by steroid synthesis inhibition, whatever the testosterone cortisol production also decreases, and in addition ketoconazole inhibits CYP-P440 enzyme. So this is what mode of action. Also the pictorial diagram has been shown. The lanosterol will convert it into ergosterol by this CYP-P440 enzyme, and which will be inhibited by this ketoconazole. So inhibition of this ergosterol synthesis disturb the membrane function and increases the permeability. Once permeability has been increased, there is what, fungal cell growth has been inhibited. So this is what mode of action of azoles. Now the SAR of these azoles. So structure activity relationship of the azole. The basic structural requirement for the membrane of the azole class is weakly basic imidazole or 1,2,4 triazole ring bonded by the nitrogen carbon linkage to rest of the structure. So what is first point? So whatever the azoles, they were showing antifungal activity. For that, the basic requirement is that they should contain the azole ring, and which is what, weakly basic imidazole will be there, or 1,2,4 triazole will be there. Either imidazole ring will be there or 1,2,4 triazole ring is required for this antifungal activity, and these were bonded by the nitrogen carbon linkage to the rest of the structure. At the molecular level, the amidine nitrogen atom, that is what, N3 in the imidazole, N4 in the triazole. So at molecular level, amidine nitrogen means C double bond C, and there is what means C double bond C and nitrogen will be there further. So these specific amidine nitrogen atom, N3 in case of imidazole and N4 in case of triazole, is believed to bind to the heme ion of the enzyme bound cytochrome P440 to inhibit the activation of the molecular oxygen and prevents oxidation of the steroidal substrate by the enzyme. So whatever these imidine nitrogen atom will be there, means N3 and N4 in respective cases, this position basically will block or bind to the heme ion of the CYP enzyme, CYP-P440 enzyme, and once this bind to this CYP-P440 enzyme, they will inhibit the activation of molecular oxygen and prevent the oxidation of steroidal substrate by the enzyme. Now third point is, the most potent antifungal azoles possesses 2 or 3 aromatic rings, at least one of the which is having substituted with halogens. So now third point is what? So whatever azoles will be there, they must having 2 or 3 aromatic rings, means they are having 2 or 3 aromatic ring, and on these 2 or 3 aromatic ring, at least one ring should contain the halogen. that means they will show their antifungal activity. For example, 2,4-dichlorophenyl, 4-chlorophenyl, then 2,4-difluorophenyl and other non-polar functional groups. You can see the initial examples of these. So chlorine group is substituted in case of these imidazoles. So this chloro substitution and aromatic ring is essential for their activity. So only 2, and the fourth point is the only 2 and 2,4 substitution yields effective azole with compounds. So whatever the 2 substitution will be there or 2,4 substitution will be there, so this will effective antifungal azoles compound. So the halogen atom that yields the most potent compound is fluorine. So whatever the halogen substitution require, in that the fluorine is what most potent azole antifungal drug. Although the functional groups such as sulfonic acid have been shown to be the same, also the whatever sulfonic acid substitution will be there, so that is what also active. So this is what the about their halogen substitution. Now further, the sixth point is substitution at other position of the ring yields inactive ring. So 2 or 4 position is what most important, but if the position rather than these 2 and 4 will substituted, it leads to inactive antifungal drug. Presumably the large non-polar portion of these molecules mimic the non-polar steroidal part of the substrate for lansoprazole 14 demethylase lansoprazole in shape and size. So whatever the non-polar portion means what 2,4-dichloro, then simple chlorobenzene, these are what the non-polar portion. They were blocked the non-polar steroidal part of the substrate of the lansoprazole 14 demethylase. Means in case of these lansoprazole ergosterol synthesis from squalene and lansoprazole, so these non-polar portion were blocked the non-polar steroidal part of the substrate for lansoprazole 14 demethylase lansoprazole in shape and size. Now eighth point is the non-polar functionality confirms high lipophilicity to antifungal azoles. Non-polar functionality is what refers to high lipophilicity, means whatever the lipophilicity is what high in case of non-polar antifungal azoles. The free bases are typically insoluble in water but are soluble in most organic solvents such as ethanol. So whatever these free bases were insoluble in water but soluble in organic solvents. Fluconazole possesses 2 polar triazole. Fluconazole possesses 2 polar triazole moieties is exception in that it is sufficiently water soluble to be injected IVly as a solution of the free basis. Means whatever the fluconazole will be there, they are having a 2 polar triazole moieties. In case of fluconazole, 2 triazole moieties are there, is exception case. In sufficiently it is what water soluble and which is injected IVly into the free bases. As whatever the other triazole will be there, they are insoluble in water, but whatever the fluconazole, that is what having 2 polar triazole moieties, that's why it is what sufficiently water soluble and given IVly. So this is what SAR of the azoles. Now further drugs we'll discuss into the next session. Till that, thank you and happy learning.